Who here knows about woo bangers? How about flavors? Wu-Tang Clan is a play on words. They sold the woo, and it was tangy. That's crack. A woo banger or a flavor is a blunt mixed with crack. You know why it's called a flavor? Because that shit tastes good. I ain't saying it's good for you. I'm just saying a lot of mofos got caught up because that shit tastes better than a Newport and some juicy fruit. If you're a smoker, try a Newport and a stick of juicy fruit. It tastes like smoky, tropical, minty candy. And this was long before vaping. Anyway, that's how the original crackhead was created. When you mix weed and tobacco leaf, the blunt, and crack, that shit tastes flavor, and all you wanted was another one. They lied about crack. They said if you smoke crack, you were gonna die. If you live in the hood, you still see many an OG crackhead out there. They don't die, they multiply. Let me tell you about the first time I actually ever sold crack. I'm on the block on 9th Street and Avenue C in New York City, and I am dressed to impress with my turquoise Lee jeans and matching Le Tigre polo. Not very incognito, but very ghetto fabulous. I look 18, but I'm actually 15 years old. Ed Koch is the mayor. My Adidas by Run DMC is on the radio, and the city is a cesspool. I'm 1 block and 1 avenue away from my mom's apartment in the Jacob Riis projects, where I don't live anymore. I'm also about 4 blocks away from my Kingdom Hall, where I grew up as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. If you don't know, let me tell you, being a Jehovah's Witness sucks. No Christmas, no birthdays, no presents, no cake, no nada. It's draconian as fuck. Which also explains why I don't live with my moms anymore. The minute I left her house, I went buck wild. I was finally free and nobody could tell me shit. I now live in New Jersey with my pops who taught me the coke game. My dad lived in Union City, New Jersey, and I was supposed to be staying out of trouble by moving there, even though he was a drug dealer. It was a do as I say, not as I do situation, and I was doing all the do's. Shit, my scrawny ass was in the city every day. I felt like I needed to catch up. Even though I grew up in the projects on the Lower East Side, I felt like I had missed out on actually growing up in the city and didn't really get to experience being a part of it. Real talk, I was a nerdy church kid. I spent every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday in the Kingdom Hall in a suit and tie and spit shiny penny loafers. We stuck out like a sore thumb, and I hated that shit. Not to mention all the hours knocking on doors preaching, being a witness for the one true God, Jehovah. But not anymore. Now, I could be just like all the dudes I secretly idolized from the hood, hard and fearless. In my mind, a true Puerto Rican outlaw. They say New York is a city that never sleeps, and I wanted to be awake for every second of it. You guys ever heard of the East Village in New York City? Well, that shit didn't used to exist. It used to be called Alphabet City, and there were no Starbucks or CrossFits there. Avenue A, you were okay. Avenue B, you best beware. Avenue C, you better check yourself. And if you were on Avenue D in white, you were dead. 9th Street and Avenue C is mad gentrified now, but at this time in 1986, it was a dangerous-ass, burnt-out crack block. So I'm standing there, and I'm kind of scared, man. Like, you could take the kid out of the Kingdom Hall, you know? Now, I've been around crack, and I've even smoked crack and shit, but I never actually sold crack to anybody. This was next level. If you got caught with crack, they would throw you under the jail. But I was broke as fuck, and my father had recently graduated from selling coke to cooking crack and was getting high on his own supply. It was getting real ugly, and I needed to get out of that house. I'd been selling weed and a little coke here and there, but the real money was in the crack game. So today I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna start selling crack. Like father, like son, except unlike my dad, I wasn't gonna smoke up all my profits. I stole some coke from my pops. He was so high, I knew he wouldn't notice. One of my boys knew how to cook crack, so he hooked it up, we bagged it up, and now I'm standing on the block doing my best crack dealer impression. trying to look all hard, but still approachable, unless you're an undercover cop, that is. And dude, skinny-ass white boy comes walking down the block. It was February, and he's wearing flip-flops. This was probably the first indication that I was too soft for this. I don't know why I give a shit about his footwear. I mean, I'm worried about a crackhead's toes being cold. Anyway, he's looking at me with those crackhead wide eyes, and he's like, let me get some crack. And I'm like, word. So I reach down my pants, and I pull out the crack vials, and he says, give me 2. And I hit him with the 2, and he gives me the $20. And I watch this motherfucker pack his pipe with both the vials and light it, and I don't know why it's coming out of my mouth in slow motion, but I say, no, not on the block. But boom, he hit the pipe with the lighter, and pow, my man fell out. I mean, he fell the fuck out. It was crazy, man. It was like 1 minute he was standing in front of me, and the next minute, poof, he disappeared in a puff of smoke and was laid out on the sidewalk. He wasn't moving. He stopped breathing. I bugged out, man. I'm like, damn, that's some good crack. I just killed this dude. I went from possession with intent to distribute to a 187 in the flick of a lighter. And now I'm scared and shit, because I just killed a motherfucker, and this is the first time I've even sold crack. I don't understand what just happened. Again, I smoked it. This shit never happened to me. I don't know what the fuck is going on. The block is now empty. The crackheads have all scuttled away into the alleyways. All my boys are like in the car halfway to New Jersey. The cats and dogs have bounced. Even the rats are like, fuck that guy. They left. And now I'm the only fool standing over this guy. And all of a sudden, my Jehovah's Witness background kicks in, and I hear God's voice. And he's like, you gotta help him, Richie. I always hear God's voice as the dog from Davy and Goliath. Anybody ever seen that shit? It's a Christian faith stop-motion claymation TV show from the 60s. They used to play it on Saturday mornings before the cartoons. It's about a little boy and his talking dog. It's creepy as fuck, too, because if you follow Christian logic, Goliath, the dog, is possessed and talking to this little white boy, telling him what the right thing to do is all the time and whatnot. Yo, that's some Son of Sam shit right there. It's messed up. Anyway, I'm like, fuck, man, what am I gonna do? So I walk over to the freaking payphone and I dial 911. And I'm calling. And I killed this dude. And I'm literally crushed inside because I'm such a hardcore crack dealer now, right? And I'm thinking to myself, yo, my first crack sale is a murder? And the lady on the phone is asking me, what happened? And I'm like, dude smoked some crack and fell out. And she's like, do you know him? And I'm like, no. And she's asking me all these questions. And I look around and everybody, and I mean everybody, my boys, the dogs, the fucking rats, even the old lady from the second floor who used to call the cops on us every day was all, shut the fuck up. What are you doing? You're a crack dealer. Stay in your lane, Negro. All of a sudden, you Captain Save a Crackhead? I was like, what the fuck? I thought you all left. But I'm calling. I can't, man. I can't leave the dude here. I killed him. What would Jesus do and shit, right? And as I'm thinking this, I feel a presence next to me. This dude has stood up the same way he fell down. I mean, I never saw him stand up. He just popped the fuck up and he's staring at me with those same crackhead eyes and he says, yo, that was some good shit. Can I get 2 more? I almost passed out. I thought it was his ghost at first, the ghost of Crackish Pass over here. I nearly punched him in the chest, but instead I snatched his pipe from him and I squashed that shit under my Jordans. Then I sold him 2 more vials. I was a crack dealer. What the fuck did you expect? A happy ending and shit? I made $40 and he's probably still a crackhead. That's not how I feel about it now. There, but for the grace of God, go I, is more like it. We were both addicts, just to different things, in different ways. I mean, aren't we all? I wish I could talk to that dude again, to both of us, really. I hope he made it. You know, I've thought of him many times since. When I graduated from acting school, when I did my first play, when I got married, when I got divorced, when I hiked the mountains of Greenland and when I flipped my car in Tanzania. I know it sounds weird, but I found out something about myself that day, something precious. I'm not a ruthless drug dealer. I'm the guy who stayed when everyone else left the dude to die. And for that small insight, to that guy, I'm forever grateful. I wish I could thank him. I hope he's okay. Thank you.
Richard is a television showrunner, bail bondsman, bounty hunter, stand-up comedian, and mindfulness meditation teacher. You can find him on Instagram at RichieVComedy.